Hi, you beautiful souls. I actually wanted to do a little bit special video and give you a message that I hope will empower you and give you hope and faith in humanity and the world. Because today I feel filled with strength and hope, and it's all because I want to give it to you. I want you to feel the same feelings I have when it comes to humanity and the earth. Because when I was working yesterday, I was meeting up with the lady that had been operated for a brain tumor. And she said to me, when we sat down and had a chat, she looked at me and do you think this world will ever be better? Do you see any hope for humanity and earth? And that really, it made me a little bit sad, because of course, and I'm starting to cry, but I feel so much love, because I know that what we see in the world is so many times hard to see, and there's so much grief and sadness and so much going on in the world that is horrible, and that we can't really explain why it's happening, and it's hard to look at. But I said to her, of course there are hope for humanity. Think of there are so many children being born in this time that won't do the same mistakes that we have done during this, or for hundreds of years maybe. But that I said to her, what I do in my reality, and how I have been creating my own little experience, is that I try to focus on what do feel good. I try to focus on the things that I am grateful for, and I really try to look for the positive things, or the things that feels like hope, things that feels like this is the future that I want to live in, or this is the future that I am building up in my imagination, in my dreams. Because dreaming is so important. It's like humanity sometimes have forgotten the ability to dream a world into being, because that is what we do every day. You have probably dreams about what you want to do in the future, what you want to do with your life. If you are wanting a relationship, you're probably how would it be, how would it feel? And it's the same with the world. The world isn't out to it's not out of to be distinct or destroyed or something like that. It may seem like it, and with our physical eyes, what we see, it is something that has to happen. Something, see it in your own life. How many times have something very very exhausting and very if you call it negative, but something very uneasy in your life maybe has happened, something negative that we say, something that it doesn't feel good, but after it something great happened, or after it something great can be born out of that experience. maybe you're not familiar with that, but I have experienced that so many times, that when something breaks down in my life, when I am breaking down, something new is being birthed and born out of that. Something new is being created, because sometimes when something is, it looks like it being destroyed, but actually, if you're seeing it from an spiritual aspect or a spiritual perspective, if you're seeing it from the universe and the God perspective, then nothing is bad. Nothing is bad that is happening. Someone said to me, like, you can see your, I think it was my guides actually, that when I am breaking down, you can either see it as a destructive pattern, something destructive is happening, or you can see it flow with it and make you expand with it instead. See it as an opportunity to create something new, that what is leaving you or what is being destroyed is something old that is supposed to go away, that is supposed to leave you. Something is like it's meant for you to let go of. And then you have to mourn, you have to be in the grieving process. You have to mourn, you have to cry, you have to be angry, you have to have all these emotions so you can purge them out. Because out of that, if you let yourself just be in it and feel it all, something even greater, something new that you don't know, something unknown, will be birthed out of that experience, out of that creation. But we humans have been programmed to see destruction as or something horrible, as something bad. And so many times it's something bad within humanity that doesn't want to be looked at. And then we keep repeating the same patterns that is keeping destroying us. And what is happening in the world all the time is repeating patterns of the history that is repeating itself for us to learn from and for us to create something new. And I know that many of us and many in these new generations right now is starting to be free thinkers, or they are like starting to think for themselves, or maybe not think for themselves always, but they're starting to be more empowered, starting to create from their own energy, from their own, like who they are, who they feel is right for them, from their truth. That's what I was supposed to say, from their truth. And of course, there's hope for humanity because we are the dreamers. Think yourself as a little child. When you were little, didn't you dream? Like, we dreamed about what we want to be, what we want to do. And don't take these dreams from the children. Make them dream even more about what world they want to be in. And don't let yourself get fooled like what you see is all that is. Because that isn't all that is. We are very powerful in that sense of dreaming a world into being. And some people will maybe call me naive when I say that I believe in a really, really beautiful future for humanity. I see a lot of hope and I have a lot of faith in my heart of what a world that I want to be in when I grow up, when I get old. And I'm gonna make that happen. But I'm gonna make that happen with myself, like how I am being in the world, how I am towards others, what I am putting out in the world, what I am creating for myself, that is also something that is it's like greater than me. It's not just for me what I am creating, it's for the whole humanity, it's for the whole earth. And I think that, I believe that that is the that is the most important thing to create out of. It's not just for you, it's not just for me what I am creating. It's something that will it's something that will be good for all of humanity and for the whole earth. And I think that is why many is talking about the environment and like eating more things that comes from the nature. Like, I believe that coming closer to nature and the earth, to care more about earth, is also to care about yourself. It's like a reflection of who we truly are, that we come from earth. And if we don't take care of the earth, then you don't take care of yourself. And I believe, I feel like I'm very, but I believe this so much. Like it's my, I feel this in my whole being, in my whole soul, that this is my truth. And I don't watch the news. I almost never watch the news. I don't watch the news at home. And it's because I know that the news are perpetuating fear and programming, and they want us to be in this bubble of fear. They want us to feel that there is no hope for humanity and earth. And that's why it's always the same news. It's always the same problem in the world. And why it keep repeating itself is because we believe it is repeating. We believe it is all there is. And then we get so caught up in this negative pattern of like, the world will never be anything else than it is, blah, blah, blah. And I believe that that isn't true. That isn't true. And that is why I don't watch the news, because it doesn't serve me. Why should I look at something that makes me feel bad when I can stop looking at it and dream a world into being instead, a world that I believe is possible? And maybe it will take many, many, many years, I don't know, to end wars and end this fighting. Maybe it won't even stop in my lifetime. Maybe it will continue even longer. I don't know. But I want to believe that it's possible to end that, to end wars and end that humanity fight that is going on right now in the world, because the separation between us has been so loud, when we don't actually see that there is no separation. There is no separation, because we all of us are energy, and every one of us is here for Earth. We are here for her, for Earth, and we have forgotten it. So we are just playing these roles, our human ego roles, and we are forgetting of why we are here, and that we are going through this evolution right now together. We are going through this together. And I feel that there's nothing more important than to start with yourself, to actually open your eyes to who are you? Are you true to yourself, and are you true to others? Or are you playing a role that isn't you anymore? And are you making yourself believe more in humanity and Earth? I felt like I wanted to stop Sometimes I stop to post this on Instagram as well, but don't mind. I don't do that now because I still feel it's a very important. It's an important message, and it's important. It's a very important time to really be self-aware, to be aware of how we are, what we are doing, because when we are in this bubble just with our own self and in our own life, we often get, and when we do feel like depressed and have anxiety and we don't feel good, then it's very easy to shut everything out. And maybe that's the best for you. Maybe that's the best thing you can do when you are feeling hurt or bad. So then you get this time to grieve and feel these emotions. But for you who is feeling pretty good and you're like, maybe you're on a roll in life, I feel that you have a bigger responsibility to actually be more self-aware of how you are playing your role. How are you in this world? Like, are you back talking people, or you're talking behind people's backs? Are you gossiping? Are you judging a lot? Are you there are so many things that we can do that is not really our highest truth. And I am no exception. I don't say that I am perfect and I do everything right. No, I don't. I still have judgments that comes up. But when it does, when I feel a judgment comes up towards another human being, I try to see myself as them. I try to put myself in their position and feel like they are just acting from where they're at. They are just acting from their wounds, because no human is perfect. First of all, no is perfect. We are here to evolve, so we are here to learn, or to be aware of what is our wounds, or what is stopping us, what is like stopping me from being nice to people, or why am I so angry at people all the time? Or there are so many questions that we can ask ourselves of why we do things, because I have a lot of I'm 32 years old, but I have been through a lot. I don't just sit here and believe that I'm perfect, because I know that I am perfect in every way I am. Whoever I am and however I am, I know I am perfect in the universe or God's eyes. But we aren't. We are perfect with our imperfections, if we can say that. That I have been through a lot, like with mental health, or a lot of wounds, and a lot of trauma, and a lot of childhood stuff that has been hindering me from seeing who I truly can be and who I truly was. But I have been working my ass off to be where I am today. So don't get fooled of how I am right now, because I have been working my ass off. I have been self-inquiring myself. I have been really wanting to expand. I have really wanting to evolve and wanting to learn about myself, because I felt like if I am the one responsible for being like this, if I was the one responsible for healing my own wounds, then I will. And I did. And I have probably, this is a day where I do feel a lot of motivation, and I feel very whole within myself. but I don't know how I will feel about in 2 hours. In 2 hours, I can feel um, like that I will explode, and I will have anger, and I will like, this is how the human evolution works, and this is how it works when we do purge out things that isn't for our highest good anymore. It has to go, it has to leave, and then you will feel the emotions and thoughts that will that is still trapped in your bodies. And we do also, I don't think that everyone is like clearing things for the whole collective, but some of us are. And I believe that I am one of those who is clearing things out of the world, out of the collective. And that is, I don't want to be a victim to it, because I have been, but I instead try to feel like I am doing something great for the world, but it's very exhausting sometimes, and it's not so, it's very horrible sometimes. I must admit, because sometimes I feel like I feel with the whole world, and sometimes I can feel how it's hurting. The anger and the rage is so very close to me sometimes. But I have learned to handle it. I have learned how to go through it without exploding to another person. I don't get so angry anymore with another human being, because I know it's not their fault. So there I get on attention, but yeah, the important message with this video is this, to be more self-aware how we are in the world, because we can't just blame the world for how it is if we don't take a really good look at, an honest look out at how we are being in this world. And I'm not afraid to talk about this, because I know that, I think I said it in my last video, what I put out in the world and what I say to you, I have to do. I can't just say something and then I don't do it, and then I don't do it myself. But I am not afraid to put it out there, because I know that I am trying my best, and I'm trying my best every day. I really, really do. And sometimes we do explode to another human being. Sometimes we get really angry and frustrated with each other. And sometimes that is an energy exchange that needs to be expressed. We have to feel safe within ourselves to express how we feel, and don't get judged about it. And don't really care about how another person reacts to you, or they has to be, every one of us is worthy of expressing ourselves, and to be seen and to be heard. So sometimes we really need that frustration and anger to be seen and to be expressed. But what I have learned with time is that when we are yelling at each other, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really do anything good, because we are hurting ourselves when we are being angry at each other. So it's like it's backfiring. So if you are feeling anger and frustration, know that there is a wound. It's something within you that is speaking to you. It wants to say you something. And maybe it is that you aren't really doing any good for you. Maybe you're not listening to what you really, really want, and you're following someone else's beliefs and someone else's heart. And maybe you're not following your own heart. And that is an, what is it called? A disservice. it's a disservice to yourself, to your own heart. We can't be a people pleaser. I have, and I still are a people pleaser, actually. I have a hard time letting that aspect of myself to go, because I really want to be nice to people. I want people to feel good, but I can't always make people feel good. Sometimes we have to say no to something that aren't in our highest good and for their highest good as well. But that is a hard part. I think that is a really hard part, because many of us want to people please, or we want to make people feel good. We want, yeah, and we don't want maybe the argues around things, but you're great as you are. Yeah, so I think this is enough, because I feel it's a lot of energy coming through this video, a lot of energy. So I hope like this is really going into your system, all of these words, like take it with you. And if it resonates with you, then it's probably something in your soul that is like awakening you, because I feel like this isn't just about me and what I am telling you right now. This is like from the earth. It's from the earth to you, because it's time to be aware of who we are and what we do, who we are, probably most. So yeah, if you want a session with me, if you want some help with your awakening, and if you have a problem with empowerment issues, or if you want like something really big to happen in your life, then I can be a help. So I will leave my email below, because I don't have any fancy website yet, but bear with me. I am working on it. When I am being friend with the technology, I will have a website. But sometimes I get so overwhelmed when I sit with things like that. So, but I have me, and I am the resource. So my email is just as good as anything. So email me if you want help, and I will help you. I will also put some pricing below. Yeah, that was all for today. I hope you get something out of it. And yeah, be nice to yourself, because you're worthy of it. Bye. I love you.